If you're tired of being censored on social media, join 60s.net. It's black owned, black operated, and black moderated, and we make sure it stays a safe space for us to talk about all things black culture. We also got some cool gear like the FDM cotton crew neck, the Fearless Ancestors tee, hats, and more. Check us out at 60s.net. Hey girl, why are you so sad?
I just got banned from Twitter again.
Should have been on 60s.net. Ah.
All right, welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially, and we are here once again for the midweek report. And the week after Father's Day and Juneteenth, so we have some things to discuss today. So first, please hit the like and share button because although this is a smaller platform, of course, when you speak pro-black talk on these YouTube streets, you tend to get shadow banned. So if you could, please share this on your social media. Tweet this to somebody you know. Tweet this to someone you don't. So send the word out that we are on live right now. As well as if you have not already subscribed, you should do so at this time. So then that way you can also be active in the chat with everyone else. Now, with that being said, let's see who we have in the chats. All right, I see Nikki Hernandez, Nikki the God, my chief moderator in the house. She just wrapped up a good Twitter space. That was really good too. Interesting things came out. Very interesting things came out. Jackson Harlem, Monique, Jeff Will, Lady Yefa, Kid Gravity Beyond. What is going on, my brother? Black First, Judah Queen, Black First, Silent D Productions, listening while working. Yes, indeed. Aboriginal Woman, Afro Elite, Black First, my brother. CJ Black in the house. Brandon Cruz sings. What's going on, brother? Film Animation Art, Black First. Black and Power, Black First. Welcome. All right. And B1 UK, Black First. Welcome. Tia to you. I see you. Black Alpha Network in the house. What is going on, my brother? Black First. All right. So, as like I said, we just wrapped up Juneteenth, and we seen how they were trying to. You saw the MSNBC thing that I showed y'all last week, that had the basically black feminist movement on Father's Day, which was also Juneteenth. And then, of course, for those who don't know, especially here, it's also synonymous now with Pride Day. So instead of most people celebrating Juneteenth here, they were more concerned with celebrating gay pride. So now we have one more of our historical events morphed into some kind of contemporary holiday that is quickly losing its value. But it's been around for 50 years, at least here. I mean, we're talking about 157 years, but as a celebration, 50 here. So Tia to you, blessings. Antonio FBA, I see you. All right, Black First, brother. So let me get into, because what we're going to talk about today has to do with, and this broadcast is actually going to probably be a two-part. So we'll probably conclude the second half of this Friday. But right now, we'll go ahead and get started. So, examining the whole situation of how our reparations movement is trying to be co-opted by certain groups, because of course, everybody, once they start seeing traction really moving, the wheels really moving, and our agenda getting pushed out there, everybody goes on notice. You understand what I'm saying? Samuel Logan, B1, Oyela Aket, Black First, I see you. Greetings, greetings. We are officially international. So, like I said, just remember back when California was having their reparations meeting, there was this group meeting behind the scenes. They were meeting behind the scenes so they can make sure that they could get up on some of them reparations. So you always got to remember that we have all of these different people with their different agendas that will come around in these spaces and, oh, wait, wrong picture, wrong one. Whoops. We have these people who will come into these spaces with disingenuous intent. And then you have some that really truly believe in what they're doing. And as we have, some of us have just recently witnessed, some people follow people really, I guess, extreme followers, extremely devout. Put it to you like that. In the meantime, we had to deal with this. This came on, and look at what MSNBC did just to make sure that they doubled down on the message that they wanted you to receive from this. Zena J, welcome, welcome. Black women on self-care. It is okay to take off the superwoman cape. Well, I guess if you say so. And just remember, when y'all say we don't have to keep the cape on, but then when it comes down around November, you start talking about black men like all of a sudden we have capes in our closets. And just for the simple fact of voting, you said, Nick, he said, I see forecast, violence in the forecast. Some conversations I have purposely avoided because of my close proximity to certain situations. So not blowing up anybody's spot here nor there. I've just elected to kind of take that back seat on that. But like I said, yes, today should have been very eye-opening. I'm sure people have mixed feelings in certain regards. If you have been one who is just completely part of the observing team. But though there have been some who probably have interacted with certain people, and now you know that this is the person whom you were interacting with on certain said people's behalf. Told me a lot. Unfortunate, just like I was trying to say last week. The big three of new black media, Jason Black, Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, those individuals have a long-standing track record, solid consistency. It's not that anyone is looking at, and mind you, that is just saying big three out of a plethora of voices, which there are women there. However, clearly the big three are all men, but they are the pioneers of what you now know as new black media today, as well as some other people that you don't know. With that being said, there were people who were asking, why aren't such and such up here? Let's make it the big four. It just seems like sexist and blah, blah, blah. I will stress track record to this regard, because I understand how some people, they bring up certain names. It's like, well, why don't you ever talk about this person? What does Jason Black or Professor Black Truth mention about mentioning certain people? There's a reason why they don't mention certain people. What what is what is that he says? Oh, I'm trying to tell you something by not telling you something. But with that being said, everybody probably knows that I used to be a moderator for a certain Nubian female network. And so there's been a shakeup in certain circles outside of what most people consider new black media. And obviously, one person who was very well gung ho at meshing one into new black media, so much so that she probably would not remember that I was the one that actually told her to stop tagging this person until they claim this brand. But, you know, I mean, hey, man, that's neither here nor there. Um, but, yeah, like I said, man, very eye-opening. Very eye-opening. Very, very eye-opening. Woo! Boy, oh, boy. Mm, mm, mm. All I can say is Afro Elite. Well, you know, you were on to something, brother. When you see a pattern and something in patterns, when you see how certain dudes move with how they conduct their business, and you're able to see it on a everybody's seeing it type of level. However, for the people to whom you interact with off camera, these people are closer to this thing than most people would even know. So I personally am aware of certain things that were not cool. Long time ago. I just never said nothing. But if y'all ever notice, out of all the voices I mentioned of new black media, there are certain voices you never hear come out my mouth. And only because certain one individual's name is dropped in my chat by whoever is one of the fans over there, which is fine. That's who you follow. And again, at this point, I do consider that person part of new black media to a certain degree. Now, does that person do what everyone else does? No, if you really paid any attention. But if that's where you started coming into what you believe was pro-blackness, and then still have yet to get over to the real pro-black voices, such as myself and others, then you might have a misconception of pro-blackness in itself. What being B1 is, you might have a misunderstanding. And also you might have a misunderstanding on integrity. So, but I've said this a long time ago. David Boyd in the house. What's going on, brother? A lot of these spaces, and I've said this before on this broadcast, the spaces that have been now kind of absolutely called in question. There was a reason, because everybody who was flooding to it are lost church individuals. So you have a lot of people, and then you have the pandemic that happened, and all these people couldn't go to church no more. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, they opened up the Twitter Space Church of God in Christ, and the rest was history. I'm talking about you literally have Twitter Space Sunday Baptist Church on Sundays, man. Come on, y'all. We just got to pay attention to what's happening. You understand? But like I'm saying, when we hear, how do I put this? Okay, prime example. People look for spiritual enlightenment, and I'll put it to you this way. There's two people on that platform that make a claim of being very spiritually astute. The one who stayed and just recently left, or the one who I left with, Queen Amadai Shakur. I'm not saying that anybody else is not legitimate. That's for you to decide. But as for me, if I was going to say someone was more spiritually astute, I would definitely lean to Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur. However, she doesn't sound like a Baptist preacher. So that might be a little bit of the dilemma for some people, because it's not churchy enough. Church of Latter-day Zoom. Kid Gravity Beyond. Cynthia Newman. Thank you. Welcome. Glad I made your pace. Thank you. Welcome. Glad you have made it. Oh my goodness. Torian Rain in the house. What is going on, my brother? Man, so I'm just saying, I'm looking at this. It's so funny how, and let me say this to any content creators out there. Y'all have to take this extremely seriously, because the people who watch you do. The people who watch content creators take what you do and what you say very seriously. I think, like I said, today's interaction was a lot more informative on that end than probably any other interaction that I've seen. Because we're talking about a person who, and I'm trying to say this is as cool as possible, but to know a person's paperwork, and then to say, well, 16 charges. One thing that person neglected to speak on, although they could say were mentioned about a husband, they politely sidestepped that little issue, but just let's keep it a buck. Part of that deal was testifying against him. And for those who didn't know. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. Because see, I don't go at individuals on these medias like that. So that's why I've elected to stay out of it. But those, that know, was I there to see some things that I wasn't cool with? Yes. And that's before all of these people even became moderators. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hell yeah. I mean, we was already in the royal court dip. Pew! We was over there at Amadeus getting them channels going. Yeah, no, I think maybe Buginis might have still been modding every now and then until somebody got upset. See, this is how. So when I hear people say, "Oh, well, I'm getting spiritual information from this individual," well, damn, y'all really need to check out Queen Amadeus Shakur. Check out her spiritual page. It's so bad that she's now had to patent that work. So, by the way, if anybody is actually trying to go and plagiarize what she's doing on that spiritual channel, all of that work is copyrighted. So, just FYI. But, like I said, I understand the draw. Because people are drawn to charisma. That's why people are drawn to church. You hear all the loud music, clapping, dancing, everybody want to come out. I wanted to hear the music. So everybody needed the hype. And I mean, when you can get up there and basically show uh, Reverend Porkchop against militant Satan and play that back and forth game, well, for those who have an issue with uh, maybe a vulgar mouthed woman who probably rarely demonstrates publicly feminine qualities, but still, very much a heterosexual, but just on the little masculine energy side, very aggressive. Or maybe you want the charismatic, gavel banging preacher. That happens. Oh, man. Well, no, it's not violent. See, here's the thing. I get wrapped into things so much because I'm sure you guys see us tagged in things a ton. Yes, this is true. That has that's no doing of my own. That's just somebody being due diligent saying, okay, I'm going to cover these areas. So, they tag me, Tariq, Judge Joe Brown, Linus Crown, um, you know, oh Lord. But see, here's what's so cold about it. This lady said that she was ready to jump on somebody over this person. But it gets better. The whole conversation is this person pleading to this content creator. Oh wait, well I don't know what she is because she's not a YouTuber. All I know is, well, if y'all said, "Hey, you know who Beatzilla is? Beatzilla saying stuff. I think he talking about you." You know what she gonna say? Oh, Beatzilla? I don't think I know much about him, right? Yeah. Like I said, so if anybody want to know, I have no side in none of that because all parties involved with me are nowhere around that right now. A funny story that may get shared down the road. That I don't know why it hasn't surfaced yet, but I just hope somebody over in that camp dropped that story Drop that BWS story. Yeah, drop that BWS story. Lord, Black Magic in the house. What's going on? Oh man! And see, he's always in some mess. No, no. Because I'm always like really trying to help things move along how they should be. You know, before people had fan pages and whatnot, and how they were actually learning how to get their Twitter popping. You know, the one who used to shout out my wife, but somehow, oh, that's right, but you don't know who I am. I didn't ask for a wrench over there, but okay. So, I hope that everybody can learn from this and understand that sometimes somebody might be smart enough to say, "Hey, you know, I don't think you are ready enough to go on Jason Black, dark skinned brother. What is going on? Yeah, I don't think you're ready enough to go on Jason Black and sit on the panel." So, when it had to get them questions asked and said, I said, "Oh, this is going to be good." Mm. He ain't never going to do that again. It's like, he just learned the truth today. That's what, I mean, and there's no offense to all the people who have been following, because I totally understand what you get. But what I don't, well, actually, no, I do understand what you're getting. Because truth be told, y'all are being fed steak flavored milk. So, in that whole situation of y'all really getting that steak flavored milk. Oh, who gave me my wrench over there? Let's see. Uh, what they say if you got a two-headed quarter. What they call it? It's another word for that. That's who asked me to become a moderator over there. So I mean, I'm talking about going, yeah, early days before it was really popping on social media like that. It was only FNQ. It was not popping like that, but I mean, because I'm not one of them people that be out here like, "Hey, say my name, man, say my name, baby. Come here, there. I've done something for you." No, I mean, if you're doing it to do it, you know what I'm saying? Because yes, you're doing it for the love. I get it. At the same time, though, you have to have some parameters and standards and morals for yourself. And also some wherewithal to understand you don't go at everybody online because you don't know everybody online. You don't know who knows them. So, I mean, prime example, this the same person who's saying this and doing these things is the same person who, for some reason, incriminates herself on live recording, but says what her intentions would have been. Okay, well, but that's not it. No. There is more. This sister then proceeds to tell us that she took out a life insurance policy on herself. And after 6 weeks of following this content creator, made her the beneficiary of $100,000 life box. Now, go back. But I know she got convicted of 6 counts of what? Fraud. If she was able to con church individuals in the front, this brother Jason comes in and keeps dropping this gem on her, and she just keeps blowing it to the side. Sister, if you are watching, I sure hope that you go back and listen to what that brother was telling you, because the very thing that you said you were looking for is what you have found and made of her in your mind, and have convinced yourself that she has saved you. But you come from the condition that teaches you your God will never leave you or forsake you. In a year and a half of a pandemic, you shifted from Jesus to a to a person who is doing videos on YouTube. Come on, come on, and ready. I'll still go F her up now. Don't you know 16 counts beat? Look at them, they were trying to give her 25 years in Fed to make a deal to get 5 years and do 4. You truly don't know the game, baby. You don't know nobody that's done no real time. Fed is day for day. So if you were able to even work that deal with no lawyer, by the way, might I add, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Y'all, you have just got to be that far away from the game to not know what you're seeing there. Are you kidding? I mean, Salim, come on. Bruh, you can't be serious. Well, who cares? I see you. Oh, man. Salim, damn. Yo, I'm like, you shake 25 years with no lawyer, with a 99% conviction rate? Yeah, can't nobody say that you came out early with, but damn it, man. I know people that got hemmed up for 5 years and didn't tell, supposedly, and still got people out here with question marks on them, because there's still certain other people that ain't got that type of love. And right now, you got some people's children playing them in TV shows. Even imagine that. So, I mean, things happen out here. You did? Things happen. So, with that being said, so you said she dropped dime. But even with them 16 counts, I mean, they can trump up some. Yeah, they can trump up some charges. True indeed. Trust me, I know all about that. Been there, done that. But with that being said, I mean, shoot, I got I got one charge they was trying to hit me with 15 years. Are you kidding? And then try to put me in position so the feds can come hit me for another 11 for shooting a white supremacist who was attacking me. So when I hear, political prisoner, was you doing what I was doing? Because see, there's a whole reason why they wanted to make sure my black ass went to prison. Because they can't have no Negro like me being out here saying, yeah, shoot him. In this city? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I was dealt by everyone. Got to be kidding. So, yeah, you going to tell me you beat 16 counts, 5, and got only 5 from Fed, and you did 4 with 1 year and a half? Well, actually, wait, how you pull that off? 6 months in a halfway house and 6 months with a tail? Ain't you bitching? No. No. No, that ain't how the law works, family. That is not how the law works. Hold on. Wait, I'm just thinking about that in my mind. Wait, them numbers don't make sense. 4 years, 6 months in a halfway house, and then 6 months with a tail. And that was your deal? Beating 25? Where they do that? I'm sure there's a lot of brothers sitting off up in out here in Pendleton. Hey man, can we get action at that deal? Man, there was a cat who was getting transferred when I was going upstate. He was getting transferred to another state to go hit his federal charges for crossing the state lines with his prostitute. They hit him with 8 straight up to the Fed gate, baby. So when you telling me that you was able to get over on some church folks, and truth be told, look how bad that had to be if you're doing that to church people. Church people, the most forgiving folks in the world, and they had to press charges on you? Then I have to think even further, well, and this is just my own overthinking, maybe. What if, because this is mortgage fraud at a particular church, it would probably beg to say that a lot of these people lived in the same community. What's something that has been plaguing our communities as of the last 20 years? Gentrification. So you mean to tell me right after the housing crisis, you're running out there to go scam black church folks? That's a little too clean. That got white people written all over. I'm sorry, but that got white folks written all over it. But I'm just saying, that's just me looking at a big picture scope of the entire situation. So that's just a theory. You said don't pick on Angel for I can't pick on Angel for her love of the sister. No. She is responsible, though, for what she did to other people for that person. That she's well within her capabilities of correcting that. But she's still so much enthralled in obsession. I hope y'all are very honest with yourselves on what y'all saw there. That is a unhealthy obsession. And when you get out there and start talking crazy about, I'm ready to go kill for her. What are you saying? On a recorded space, don't you know if anything happened over there, you got problems? I mean, people get out here talking wild, man. And so the thing is, when you're going to come out here and do this, like she did, you have to know that there were people along the way that you offended. And no one owes you forgiveness. I mean, it is, if you came and said, hey, I was wrong about this, I was misguided here, I had wrong information. Cool. That's one thing. But I've seen majority of people just double down and not concern themselves with not concern themselves with what they have already done out here online. And you have multiple people out here that know exactly who that person is now, because this was a person who was at one point trolling other content creators for such said individual. Call it obsession, call it misguided, but you have to call it. You have to call it. Just like the other one, who and I guess, don't get it twisted. I guess there is some kind of benefit in trolling on some kind of level, because there was one troll that I've had in my chat sent by another emotional wreck that also came from the same farm, and was in my chat, trolling for a minute. Also popped in Amadiah's chat, was trolling for a minute. Well, what has turned out now, this individual has turned out to be the person who sent them's biggest troll. So, I mean, I guess I don't really feel, you ain't going to hear too much pity coming out of me. Because, I mean, for me, it's like, okay, I get it. I mean, I'm not going to kick you while you down, but it's like, you do notice what you was doing, right? Yeah. And the whole queen of new black media, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you knew you was off. And what was the reason for you doing that again? Oh, because you didn't know she wasn't? Oh, it's because she had you doing that's right. You were trying to work on Mahoney over here. Yeah, I have no sympathy for none of that. Because I know exactly what you was doing. So everybody else can, I get it. Y'all pat her on the back and make her lick her wounds. Cool. But as far as I go, and as far as anybody of the royal court goes, pretty safe to say I could speak for them and say they don't give a damn about how she feels. Because she has to own what she did to other people. Multiple people, multiple times. And just to get turned around and get burnt this way? Seems like one would have learned by now. But see, we have to take this thing into very serious consideration. When you are in these positions, and my wife told me, she was like, you probably have one of them too. Maybe I do. I just understand for women, it's a lot different. So women are a different kind of draw than men. So, it'll be like she said, much my soul sister, soul tie. No, No, she's not. Whoever that man was that never got that out of you, that was that. Get back to teaching proper etiquette and how you have to conduct yourself out of here. You don't go out there doing nothing like that. And, oh my God, she just flipped on me. Yeah, because she wasn't cool from the beginning. She's strictly business. Then you had y'all over there paying for spiritual classes. The Bible tells you buy the truth and sell it not. But she over here selling you things like like Madame Toussaint. Hey, come over here and check my crystal ball. I'm the spiritual goddess over here. Come over here. And then the last one, which just killed me. Learn how to twerk that money out your cat. Learning the roots to the secret enterprise out your monkey. Aren't you bitching? What's wrong with y'all? Hey, you know what that's called? It's called the oldest profession. Damn it. I feel bad for y'all, man. I feel so bad for y'all. Y'all just had to go. But see, if y'all don't go do it, y'all won't know. You got to sometimes go bump your head like that. Black mama. He said, what in the world did I log into? That other thing finally coming back around. But by the way of, her own doing, nobody say, hey, you guys, no. Here's the beauty. It's all in-house. All we are observers. Yes, there, Tasha Peters in the house. That's smart. I see you. We are observers. I quickly removed myself. I believe I hit a few of my compadres over there, and hey, I'm not sure what you're going to do. You might want to look into this, and then that's probably when you notice that our sister Lioness Crown's page. If you haven't went and subscribed to her page, go subscribe to Lioness Crown, and also my sister Tina Berry. Yeah, straight up, no chaser with the Queen. If you have not followed her by now, you should have already done so, and you probably know her from the same platform. And probably was wondering why you didn't see her on YouTube as much. Like I said, although you're close to certain things, it's like, it's not really my place to talk about it because, again, I'm not trying to throw a monkey wrench in nobody's thing. So I see what I see, duly noted. Tim some more. Hey, man, I'm gonna be quite honest. I wouldn't have said this much about this had I not known that this woman turned around and actually took shots at Jason Black and Tariq Nasheed after Tariq Nasheed done went up there to put her ass in his movie. Nah, I ain't feeling that. Fam. That's not proper etiquette. That ain't proper etiquette at all. And I'm Dominique Devereaux. I see you in the house. Tim Moore. Oh my God. I mean, the shout is, yes, Black Mother. Shout out to Lioness Crown and Tina Berry, straight up no chase with the Queen. And of course, my good sister, Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur, which I've already mentioned her today. And her spiritual channel is also in, if you go to my main page, you'll see these channels there. I need to add some, matter of fact. Because I don't know what happened. They YouTube kicked my Professor Black Truth link off for some reason. So I got to go add him back. Um, see the things that YouTube does. Now these are the type of things they do to black channels. Um, but it's because we're speaking the truth. Now, like I said, um, I when you're with dealing with something, but these are the main people who's everybody's knowing. It's like, well, I could see how this can go wrong pretty quick. Then me and a couple of my sisters had a few conversations for me to get the understanding that I needed, and okay, I totally get it. Now, I was wondering what certain other things were. Like, why are people going at certain people going at all of these people over here at NOI? It's like, they won't do this and they won't do that. It's like, well, I understand how this one particular gentleman has done people dirty. But the one thing that most people have been completely honest with me about is you are well aware of the contract you signed. Now, some of the other stinky stuff that he was doing, but like taking domain names and all of that, that's other business. But as far as the not getting paid thing, if you signed that contract, that was your deal with him. That was your deal with him. So understanding that part, I have to understand that. So when I saw this other individual going so hard at the brothers from NOY, like, why ain't y'all calling him out? Because NOY has structure, and it has one thing that most, especially followers of this individual, absolutely lack: order. Order. I remember being trolled by this individual a few whiles back, and there's one video that I have that has very little views, probably because she's one of them. And I've made my position very clear. Because, there was a time when I used to get trolled by a certain individual asking, why do I support Tariq Nasheed? Why? I just don't understand. Well, because I'm smart enough to know where I'm from. I'm from the West Coast. So, again, like, even Tariq has said himself, out here, you can find out who somebody is and who some people are. So, I mean, and as far as that section goes, not too far removed at all. So, uh, rest in peace to my brother. And Chong. And RP. Uh, if y'all know, then you know. I remember so many people thought that he was Gorgeous Dre. It's like, you do realize those are two different individuals, right? One's a pimp, one got game. They are different. They're not the same dude. Gorgeous Dre's from right up the road. Tariq Nasheed's from LA. Right? Like, he's the same dude. No, Gorgeous Dre is not Tariq Nasheed. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So like I said, the loud one and the confused one who likes to get I'm not getting the confused one. You know what? Something I believe it was brother Jackson Harlem. I think it was Jackson Harlem that mentioned not involving itself with too many. I've said that many times on this broadcast. If you are not either born into certain things or raised up in certain things, you should not just willy-nilly say, oh, that's cool, let me go put my hands on it. Because you might be messing something up for yourself messing with things you probably ought not. And so when I heard about master classes and whatnot, I'm like, ooh, ooh. Well, this is the beginning of the end. Better cake up now, lady. Because, see, and I mean, I'm going extra light, and I'm just, I'll speak for people who shouldn't speak, and I'll say this because there are people who could really lay into some things, and I'm telling you, the spirit, the stolen spiritual stuff. I mean, I know for a fact where it came from. So it's so crazy when, I'm listening to people just being, I was so moved, and I'm like, yeah, she's a good con artist. She is a good con artist. But when Jason had her on, that was when it was time to fly. And boy, oh boy, that plane crashed quick. So if you ever want to know what I'm talking about, just go back and listen to the Jason Black episode where he has the particular female on. Because as you know, he rarely has guests on like that outside of candidate Marcel. So it shouldn't be hard to find. You will be able to listen to a very quick crash and burn. Because see what happens when you're in a space to where it's only you and no one's challenging you, and then you got this big old hive over here that we going, don't you say nothing about my Lord and Savior. I mean, we have to make sure those type of things have to be addressed. Because truth be told, what y'all were hearing is how cults are made. In the same time, they're talking about Tariq Nasheed and FBA as a cult. No, you heard what a cult is today. Don't kid yourself. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like, oh, he finally gonna let loose on her. Because I've seen a few other extra people in the chat. Again, like I'm saying, I'm not here to shovel no dirt. Because I mean, that job could have been done a long time ago had I would have been that pissed off. But neither here nor there, because that's not me. I'm not involved in that. Interesting to hear the testimonials, though. You know how, like, sometimes when you know what a thing is, and everybody else can't see what that thing is, it's like sometimes you just have to sit back and be like, y'all see. I get that. I totally understand what got you enamored right now. Got it. Trust me. You'll see. And the truth of the matter is, most people that have participated and taken a side in that situation never did their homework on examining the true nature of that situation to begin with. Because if you did, then it would be like, oh, this makes sense, damn it. Why are all the rest of us involved in this? But, like I said, there are probably some pictures still circling around somewhere on the internet. But you can go find a bit. Oh, wow, y'all was really kicking it like that. Three's Company, huh? Oh, if you didn't know, the aggressive one is the one who brought the gavel. And then what happened? They was friends. They lived together for a moment too. Not saying that anyone is an opportunist, but if you could just tend to notice a little bit of personality traits and just habits, that might be one to pay attention to. She's done it before, and you're going at that person for her. Black Mama, you said I stay out of capable grown folk business. Not all of us will get along. Right. And that's exactly why it's raining in Southern California? Damn. That's exactly why I hadn't said nothing. I mean, I hadn't said nothing this whole time. Because, just think about how long it's been. So, at this point, I don't even moderate for Queen Amadai Shakur anymore. So, and I mean, that's not like we ain't cool. Like, absolutely we cool. I just said I'm putting all my focus on this. And so, I'm going to have to hit her up. She cracking up. Oh, boy. I'm going to have to hit her up, boy. Yeah, don't you know we can end up talking for hours. Ooh, Lord. Yeah, I'm going to have to let her know about this. Boy, that other shoe dropped like a ton of bricks, didn't it? But it was very telling, too, because, I have to go back to the simple fact that this individual is the person controlling this fan page who was trolling all of these other people, getting people's pages flagged, getting people's pages shut down, getting people's lives interrupted. I know people who lost money by her antics. I have no sympathy for her. None. Yeah, the irony, Monique. Now, somebody want to say, oh man, that's evil. I mean, they came in there. He said, your sound is messing up. Yeah, try to refresh. And I ain't even using the mic. And these people were still trying to defend her, And I get she had a very, very strong impact. So is white Jesus. How does that help black folk? You see what I'm saying? How does that help black folk? Now she's blocked and canceled. Yes. And that's this. So this poor young lady has done all of this damage and harm to other individuals in the sake of crusading for the spiritual guru with braids. And now that her tie is severed with the other platform that I used to moderate for, she is now clearly got herself a paid staff and kicked this little minion to the side. Y'all remember when Tupac said that he, back in Poetic Justice, when him and, after they finished wrapping up, Tupac said, yeah, him and Janet Jackson was supposed to go out to, roller skate or something. Right? So, yeah, he picked up the phone caller. Doo-doo-doo. This phone has been disconnected. Yeah. That's how the business works. And see, when you're dealing with issues, all this or that, you were just strictly business for her. I mean, another thing that she neglected to mention, and I honestly, 100,000? She ain't put no 100,000. That woman got a whole $1 million on her head. If you think that she only put $100,000 policy on her, she put $1 million on her. You want to know why I would say that? Well, in the deal of the 4 years, well, 5 years, also came restitution of to the tune of about 2.5 mil. So if you're wondering why money needs to be made back, whew, you said Jackson, you said she didn't get a lot of people's work, but she said she did. And she said she admitted to it. I ain't gonna take the credit from her. And Dominique Devereaux, he could probably attest to some of the stuff that she's done. I mean, there's people been watching this woman out here. So she's when I say she's done what she's done, trust me, I ain't just saying it from speculation. I mean, because I had to check her about the thing in the first place. And then she start running with the queen of new black media. See, no. No. I know everybody is not privy to knowing who Beatzilla is. But that woman absolutely knew. No, sir. No, sir. She not getting no sympathy from me. She knew well what she was doing. Going over here getting, she did that. I mean, shoot, some of my moderators are well aware of this woman. She, it was just interesting. I'm glad that she was transparent enough with it. Hopefully she would see what was wrong with what she was doing. Because that was the problem. Not that she was so obsessed with this other person. Because I get it. A lot of people followed her. But you said she stole my turn. Judah Queen. That too. Monique said, I'm sure she did. Just strange and very odd. Dominique. Dominique Devereaux. I mean, you already know. Man, I just looked at what I was hearing today, and it's like for me, I'm not, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make. I don't want to sway how y'all feel. I'm not trying to sway how y'all feel, but I am keeping it above on what I know, and so I can't make it be something else. Like, this is what this person was doing. Not only that, I had an interaction with this person where I told her to stop tagging her like that. So here's the thing for me that she actually was dishonest about. She didn't learn about new black media from her. That's absolute BS. And I know that for a fact. That's why we ever interacted. So the fact that she went out there and even lied to y'all. She said, well, I heard about new black media from such and such. Neither one. Matter of fact, the only people over there that could ever be considered this, Jade Arendelle, Tina Berry. Jade Arendelle, Tina Berry. Did you hear any other names? Jade Arendelle, Tina Berry. And you might want to see if that's still even in effect. I'm just saying. So, I've always wanted to be clear. They didn't post my notification. Really? BB? Wow. Not surprised. Not surprised. Make sure you are still subscribed, by the way. So with that being said, I I did not plan to talk about that as long as I did. But I'm glad I did because I needed to just share that. Because that was really amazing to what I just really witnessed. Uh, and like I said, I'm glad for her honesty and her open willingness to speak because, again, she was not aware of who she was talking in front of. And maybe she was in some regard. With that, don't pay for spiritual advice. And if your spiritual guru is here to teach you how to find the hidden treasure within your cat, oh man, how many of y'all pay for that? How many of y'all actually paid for that? Y'all did no bells and whistles went off with that title. Nothing. I don't know. Maybe this is all just a little bit. What are we talking about again? The secret treasure locked up in your womb, huh? Ain't that just the line of an old R&B song, if I remember correctly? Wasn't that produced by James Brown and his background too? Use what you got to get what you want. Maybe I'm Happy Black Music Month. Yikes. So, ooh, thank you, Nikki. You said it needed to be discussed. I learned a lot from you in your broadcast. Thank you. Um, Again, like I said, I wasn't saying nothing about this for a while because I figured all the entities and the personalities involved, they had to work out some things if it was going to work or if it wasn't going to work. But yeah, if any of those people who are giving, man, y'all got to tell the BWS story, y'all. If y'all were able to make that trip, because the people from my neck of the woods ain't gonna be the one to tell that story. So, but if y'all out there, go ahead and drop that story, because and I mean, truth be told, I mean, it ain't me shoveling dirt, but sometimes you got to do what needs doing, and if you are privy to that information, then I would say now would be the time. So if you were around for that trip and there for the events, that definitely would be an interesting space. I'll tune in. Wow. So here's one thing I really don't understand about that, though. Before I move on, New Black Media, when has it ever been synonymous with that individual? When you say New Black Media, who the hell says this person? Bam, 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 bam. Who says that? I mean, because Queen Amadaya Shakur, New Black Media. Gina Berry, New Black Media. Lioness Crown, New Black Media. Six the Goddess, New Black Media. ZZ, I believe she's on right now. New Black Media. Nicole's View, New Black Media. Lisa Cabrera, New Black Media. See all these women that actually are saying something and teaching something? Demetra K. If you want to go real hardcore, you go with Crimson. Was it a Crimson Goddess? What's her name? Crimson Girl. I'm sorry, I'm messing your name up. Crimson Cure. I mean, there's other individuals out here. Um, I would never tell you to go to certain individuals who might call themselves certain works of art. Yeah, you know, we have to be the gods and goddesses, but you want to be a work of art. There's a word. It ain't coming to me right now. But that too, because that's another thing that I see often. Now you have officially three people who have came from the same camp that goes at the same man all the time, with the exception of course, this new one. It's like, well, damn, y'all all be True Royal. Thank you, True Royal. Uh, y'all all be beefing, but then these other two always got Tariq's name in their titles. Man, Tariq this, man, Tariq that, and then I seen the other one trying to crap on Marcel. Like, I'm not even hearing about him because you too busy swinging on this other chick's. I mean, good grief. This fandom thing out here is absolutely out of hand. But I've told y'all quite a few times how I feel about certain people. Well, I'm not going to worry about saying anything about a person who's not monetized. Oh, huh. If that's the best you can do, Lord, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. Mm, mm. You know, we have to understand, man, we got a lot of these people who come in our midst, and it's very unfortunate because they are looking for a savior. And when they find one, then, they start going gung ho and start becoming fanatical. Now, what y'all have witnessed was kind of an extreme fanatic. I mean, very extreme. So for me, I'm wondering, well, okay, what did this person give you? Well, like, what are you getting out of this? Well, they saved me. See, this isn't something that we need to look at this individual for, like, sympathy. No, this person needs help. You know, that individual needs help because number one, they are trying to come over into a B1 space, holding on to God loves everybody Christianity, which ain't in the Bible nowhere. All men were created equal under God. That ain't in the Bible. Man, right, man. Let me tell you what's not in the Bible. Love everyone and God loves everyone. Them two things ain't in the Bible. And then if you wanted to know about what the word world means, I mean, that's cosmos. It's Greek. Latin means group. Not everybody. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. Because see, one thing when you're in the Christian church is they teaching you a philosophy that is absolutely outside of what is written in the book that they're holding. So they tell you all these things while holding this book. And then when someone actually reads to this out of the book to those same people, you should see their face and be like, that's in there? We got to love everybody though. Y'all grew up singing Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Jericho, Jericho. Joshua, if y'all thought that was just a fun song, you know what them Negroes did? They ran around that joint, scared them niggas, singing loud, screaming loud, and then the walls come tumbling down. You know what the Lord told them after that? Go and clean them niggas up. Yeah, it got real bloody in Jericho. For those who don't know. See, a lot of people be like, oh man, this is something. Ain't no sob stories in the Old Testament. That's why they don't read it in the church that much. There's a whole lot of killing going on in the Old Testament. A whole lot of warring. And guess what you couldn't do? Sit there and wait on the Lord. Because the Lord will tell you himself, go over there and take it. You know what that means? Get them swords, get them mighty men, and go blow through that tent. Now here they just pray. Just wait on it. Stop. Get these people away from you. But what did she say? Well, I was in the church and I was looking for this. All of them church folks went straight on over there. Straight on over there. And I don't even understand why anybody would even be considering that to be a B1 space. I'm sorry. Maybe the people have not noticed the absence of the addressing direct white supremacy. You don't see that individual going hard at white supremacists. No. They'd rather go with other black people and say they're cooning or they're mammying, which is cool because you can call that out, but those are still victims of white supremacy. What are you doing about the enemy? You doing like the boys on Twitter space, right? You're just going to keep talking about more black folks and more victims of white supremacy. We're doing something, man. We're doing the work. Woo! Well, in a break from the foolishness, Rayvon Johnson, what is going on? Yeah, there's much in the chat with them before too close to the gate with the force. You know, hey, you gotta come to that gate. You did? The Most High said wreck shop. Absolutely. Hey, do the part that I'm telling you to do. And then after you do that, because it takes being obedient, I'm going to give it to you. Go run through and blow, man. Y'all should go read up the story on Shechem. See what happened there. Yeah, that's in the first book. You can go read that in Genesis. Let's see what he made them to do. You know? Made them cats self-circumcised. But anyway, let's get to this. So there has been some questions about the Nation of Islam. And I understand it's funny because we have a lot of these people who are new to Black empowerment. So they don't understand how long people have been tirelessly working at liberation and making sure these things are achieved for our people. But with that being said, they came out they pie holes recently talking about what has Farrakhan done about reparations. He's failed the Black community because he hasn't talked about reparations. Well, for all of you lead paint eaters, this one's for you.
The Germans recognized the evil that they did to the Jews. And right now, they're paying reparations. Look at what they said. We ask the Jews of the world to forgive us We ask the people of Israel to forgive us for the hypocrisy and hostility of official East German policy toward Israel and for the persecution and the degradation of Jewish citizens also after 1945 in our country. We declare our willingness to contribute as much as possible to the healing of mental and physical sufferings of survivors, and to provide just compensation for material losses. Isn't that wonderful? Let's applaud the East Germans. That's a wonderful thing that the East Germans did. Now let's rewrite this a little bit. And let's put it in the hands of America. Wouldn't it be wonderful if America said, we ask the blacks of the world to forgive us? Wouldn't that be something? We ask the black people of America to forgive us for our hypocrisy and the hostility of official United States policy toward black people, and for the persecution and the degradation of black people whom we call citizens, even after 19 or 1863, when we said they were free. And we declare our willingness to contribute as much as possible to the healing of mental and physical suffering of these survivors, and to provide just compensation for material losses. Now, let's add up what they owe us. Let's add it up. Let's add it up. You got your computers? Let's start in Africa. According to W.E.B. Du Bois, a conservative estimate of black lives lost in the Middle Passage was from 50 to 100 million black lives. Now, we don't mean to minimize the Jewish Holocaust. 6 million lives is a lot of lives. But are you telling me that 6 million white lives are more valuable than 100 million black lives? I know that's not what you said.
Show respect, cut the check.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, as you can see, Brother Khalid Muhammad was standing right there by Minister Farrakhan, so you can see this is not recent. Minister Farrakhan looks considerably younger, so you can definitely tell it's not recent. So for those of you who were born after the date of that particular speech, and then have went on to question the record of black leaders that have came along before you were itching your daddy's pants, well, I just gave you a little history lesson, and maybe that can help you out. And shut your mouth talking about people you don't know. So, with that being said, let's go on to Miss Opal Lee. And this is about what I'm going to be talking about tonight. And again, we'll be also revisiting this Friday, because like I said, this is probably going to be a two-parter. But we're going to go in a little bit of history, just even from my own neck of the woods, just to show y'all, because I'm sure you have similar situations where you're from, which all the more prove why foundational Black Americans are in need ASAP of reparations or owed reparations with fat interest and tax exemption status, as well as absolutely covered health care and life insurance. That right there changes the dynamic of how police even police black communities. So let's be clear, that much could be done without a dollar amount to it because you're just changing the policy like you know how they do for every other group. So like y'all saw last week how as in the week of Juneteenth, LGBTQ got a new law, DACA got a new law, and Ukraine got $1 billion. And then add insult to injury, we have black women talking about you don't have to put on the cape. It's okay to take off the cape. Ah, yes, indeed. So again, like I said, black women on self-care. It's okay to take off the superwoman cape. It should be if you're caping for someone outside of your community. But if you're not, like most of these women at this table, especially Tarana Burke, Ayanna Presley, and if you don't know who this little woman is, the light-skinned one here dressed up like a dude, she's the one who took a shot at Tariq Nasheed. And for those who couldn't figure out who the other person she was mimicking was, that was none other than Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur. Those are the two voices that even the masses or the powers that be were concerned about. So if there would have been a big four, I guess you would be looking at another author, which would be Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur, someone like her. If you didn't know, she's a doctor, by the way. Yeah, no. One thing about pressure from Beatzilla, though. Check the track record. So I don't turn my face to people too often. And right now, I'm still not. But obviously, there's certain things that need to be corrected in somebody's field, which will keep them out of mine. So whoever that pertains to, you might want to get on that. Because I ain't the one you want. I guarantee that. Like I said, check that track record. So like I said, I don't turn my face to too many people. And I haven't done it right now. What I'm speaking on is what I'm speaking on. And I'm sure there'll be some fans hurt about that. But this is Beatzilla talking. Ask yourself if I give a. There's a reason why I don't. And see, before you came around and was a big fan of whoever the hell you think you're a fan of, remember, Beatzilla was there before you. So don't get too upset at what a person knows. Because if you just hearing me talk now, please. So what I would say, Opal Lee. You said I wanted to punk Judah Queen. Well, I'm sure a few people felt that way. I mean, I understand. That's again Oh man, Dominique Devereaux, you already know. I mean, again, I come early and I work different. I understand it's a sensitive subject, but hey, nobody comes to Beatzilla's behalf. Nobody out there taking shots for old Beatzilla, but all the shots seem to come to me. So everybody ever asked me to care? Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Yeah, no. Y'all go get some gospel, or come get some truth. The truth's here, right here. You can get the truth here. Make no mistake. As I say right here, a fair truth-speaking balance in reporting. Truth-speaking, not a con. See, I'll tell you the truth, brother. Not a con. Black mama. Because see, for us true revolutionaries, it ain't about fame. Matter of fact, a lot the opposite. For us true revolutionaries. I know people get caught up, well, this, that, yeah. I'm not finna be doing no public yelling match with no one. Don't come for me. Stay on the porch. So, in other acts of treason, we have Opoli. And we have to be clear. See, this is one thing, and I guess this is what ties this all in. We have a real big, bad problem of avoiding the truth because of how you like someone. Someone touched you this way, you avoid seeing the truth. How is that different than black folks and the damn Democrats? How? It's the exact same. Savior, 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 Savior. Everywhere else got to be the Savior except for here. Nothing in here though, because I'm broken. Well, you're not going to find your answers in this person. You're not going to find your answers in this person until you start looking to figure out what's going on. A person that cares about you would tell you that. A person who's swindling you is going to sell you an answer. See, here's how the truth works. It cuts two ways. So when someone says they're speaking it to you, then it's going to have to hold up. When we see other people's stuff not hold up and you don't like what I'm saying or what other people are saying, you guys went and shadow banned a space just because this is a topic. We need to get y'all out of the paint. Because this over here, the new black media movement, is not that. It's not some fan-driven madness. The code is the leader. And if you can't wrap your mind around the code, then this ain't the space for you. Because here we let the truth and the code lead, not an individual. Individual off code, we don't start getting off code with them. We stick with what's right. And unfortunately, there's not enough tough damn love out here for tell people this. Everybody want to be nice and kind. But unfortunately, we cannot do that because we are in dire straits if no one is paying attention. While these people are looking for a savior on the internet. Just over here getting their jabs, voting for Biden, and then now got B1 in their mouth because of someone else who was actually rejecting it. But because of the pressure of the wave of the move, like I said, I'm sure a lot of people do not understand who I am. Got it. But the people you follow do, especially that one. So I will say this. Nothing come to me. And that's your job. I get any of them people off of Pimmer, man, that's you. I'm not going to look at them. I'm going to look straight at you. But you don't know who I am. All right. I think I got them up out of here now. All right. So now to the teaching of people who actually want to learn about Black history. So, Opal Lee. Pay attention. Opal Lee is doing this piece for, and this is actually from last year about the pen and all of that. But the real important part is how she's trying to dilute it. Because last year it went over everybody's head when she said, Juneteenth isn't just about Black people. And wait a minute. But now we're to the point to where people don't have to understand. There is an active movement to attack the reparations claim to get it to be more accessible for these other groups to kind of pilfer their way in. And if y'all been watching Twitter, just even today, Twitter was showing you that a lot of tethers have this. It's like go gung ho at trying to find a way to tie themselves into our reparations claim. So here we go.
President Biden used to sign Juneteenth into law. I'm Opal Lee, and I've had this marvelous day at the White House. The young people would say, it's off the chain. I knew I was coming because Juneteenth had been made a national holiday, and the president was signing the bill into law, and I was invited to the signing of that bill.
Looking out across this room, I see the advocates, the activists, the leaders who have been calling for this day for so long, including the one and only Miss Opal Lee.
Over the course of decades, she's made it her mission to see that this day came. She's walked for miles and miles, literally and figuratively, to bring attention to Juneteenth, to make this day possible.
You cannot imagine how joyful, how humble, how magnificent the whole thing has been. There may be some of you who don't know what Juneteenth is. The enslaved in Texas weren't told they were free for 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation freed them. They'd watch in their churches and they'd pray for freedom to come. And it finally did. When General Gordon Granger and 7,000 colored troops from New Jersey and New York made their way to Galveston, Texas. And he read General Order Number 3 that said all slaves are free. When those people came in from their labor and somebody read that to them, we started celebrating, and we've been celebrating ever since. Juneteenth is not a Texas thing. It's not a Black thing. We're talking about freedom for everyone.
Oh, the painful sounds of treason. Let's hear that one more time, shall we? It's not a black thing. It's not a Texas thing. Okay, so Juneteenth, again, is a celebration about the slaves being freed 2 years after slavery was technically abolished by President Lincoln. Well, not abolished, more like amended. But then, of course, in 2 years later, June 19th is when was Order 3 was read in the state of Texas for black, foundational black American slaves who were still enslaved. So, with that being said, Juneteenth is about the freeing of the slaves that were still in slavery in the state of Texas. Somehow, she has got up here on her deathbed and started speaking treasonous talk in front of the masses to let you know that, hey, white folks, I ain't gonna let these young niggas get you out of your money. I'm gonna sit up here and make sure I get all these people money. Ain't they want reparations? And everybody got to have reparations, because if the Lord just wanted black folks to have money, he would have made us white.
Celebrating everything. Juneteenth is not a Texas thing. It's not a black thing. We're talking about freedom for everyone.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But here's the problem. You know, we have too much of that in our midst. And I'm going to tell you, that church crowd, like it's a hard subject. I totally understand. It's totally hard subject to get. I get it, but this Christian thing that people keep trying to bring over here to this pro-blackness ain't gonna work. It is just not gonna work. And I don't understand why anything would even be confusing at this point. It's like, you know, but I'm gonna help unconfuse you tonight. Oh yeah, we're gonna help get unconfused. Because it's not a black thing. It's not a this, that, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, ma'am, it is. And on top of that, let me show you something here, because this is a problem I got with the whole Opal Lee thing. They wasn't giving a damn about Opal Lee until after Clara Peoples died. That's why when you start hearing about, Opal Lee, the mother of Juneteenth. Well, let me introduce y'all to one Miss Clara Peoples. The reason why they go away from Clara Peoples, of course, is because Clara Peoples was not a coon. I'm going to just keep it about. Reason why is she wasn't a coon. You know? So, welcome to my town. This here is Portland, Oregon. Here to where we have a small black population. However, our black population has been known to be one of the most militant small populations of the West Coast. So now with that being said, let me further enlighten you on to how we have been celebrating Juneteenth in the city of Portland, Oregon for 57 years. So check this out.
Fan. She was my motivator.
Janelle Jack's heart swells with pride when she thinks of her late grandmother, Clara Peoples.
She's my guardian angel now.
A woman with twinkling eyes, a wry smile, and a special legacy.
Well, she brought Juneteenth to Oregon when she worked at the shipyard.
It was 1945. Clara Peoples asked her boss if they could celebrate Juneteenth on their break in the Vanport shipyards. She brought the tradition with her from Oklahoma. Years later, in 1972, Clara helped organize Portland's annual Juneteenth celebration, which the city has enjoyed ever since. It earned Clara a special nickname,
Mother of Juneteenth.
Juneteenth commemorates June 19th, 1865, also known as Freedom.
Did you just hear what her nickname was? See, people be like, man, Portland, Oregon. What's up in Portland, Oregon? Shit, let me tell you something, man. A hidden gem, y'all.
Day, a day on which Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and declared that all slaves were free. It had taken 2 years for news of President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation to reach Texas. Word traveled much more slowly in those days. But what a celebration when it did.
Juneteenth is America's second Independence Day. And it's really the Independence Day where all Americans were free.
In 1980, Texas became the first state to declare Juneteenth a holiday. Janelle says her grandmother would have a lot to say about what's going on in our nation's history now.
She would be happy. She would feel accomplished and have the biggest smile on her face.
This month, the city of Portland and Multnomah County moved to observe Juneteenth as a paid holiday for the first time. And on Thursday, Governor Kate Brown issued a proclamation officially declaring June 19th Juneteenth and announced plans to make it a state holiday.
Her words would be right on, right on.
Following in her grandmother's footsteps, Janelle is now director of Juneteenth Oregon. And like her grandmother, she continues to build Juneteenth as a way to unite all communities.
Now, Juneteenth seems like it's a household name, and I love it, but keeping that momentum going for years to come.
In Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
All right, y'all see what the mother, her nickname was the mother of Juneteenth. So when I started hearing Opal Lee, it's like, damn, they brought out Opal Lee like right after Clara Peoples passed. So that's what's like, I knew something was funny still out there, but then how they Opal Lee, you never mentioned Clara Peoples. They changed the whole name of the parade here. It's the Clara Peoples Freedom March. So the fact that they don't even mention Clara Peoples, but oh yeah, it's man, Juneteenth was recognized in our state before as a state holiday before the national holiday. It wasn't about no damn Opal Lee, no Clara Peoples. But you know, you see why they got Opal Lee. It's not about Texas. It's not about black people. It's about freedom. Yeah, that same freedom that was because a lot of people don't know about the Northwest because all y'all think the Klan was down south. Man, there wasn't no Klan up north, man. Let me tell you something. Biggest Klan state of the United States is Oregon. Guess y'all didn't know that, huh? Ain't the South. It ain't the South. Nope. So, I mean, you know, give us respect. You see us walking through. Oh! Something else I caught accidentally. Family. Remember, okay, so again, safeguarding our legacy. Reparations is a conversation with us right now, right? Well, y'all look at this. How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? Black Mama said like they did Claudette Colvin. Yes, indeed. Gave all the credit to Rosa Parks. Absolutely. They didn't want no single pregnant teenager being the face. Well, you're a single mom and you're pregnant, so I mean, I don't really know if you would be the best. Let's go with Rosa Parks. She's over here, she's got a husband and more clean cut. So it's like, it's not even legitimate. So again, Rosa Parks' situation happens, of course. But for those who know, yes, she was not the first person to spark that. Reason why they didn't choose the first dark-skinned sister, by the way, is because she was pregnant and was not married. So they felt that that wouldn't be the best way to get their agenda forward. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's neither here nor there. The rest is history now. But here's the thing, like, we have to really be honest in addressing things. And I know there are a lot of people that probably are offended by what I said earlier. And people have to understand, no one in this world owes you understanding. Best thing to do is not put your hands toward offending someone else, especially when you don't know. On behalf of anyone, I don't care. Because when you come, because there's people connected to everybody else. See, the one thing I can stand on what I'm saying right now is because I've sat and watched it all. And then I also had to sit there and listen to dishonesty. So, I mean, I'm not up here just like, well, I'm not picking on anybody. But let's be clear. If you trolling and getting people's stuff shut down, people lost money. People lost money behind that. I know people personally who lost money behind it. So, I mean, feelings can be hurt, but you ain't cashing in no chips. People lost money behind that reckless madness. Whether it was ill-advised or not, we are all adults and responsible for our actions. So when we're going to sit up here and cost somebody money, you're lucky you're not getting sued. So don't be going ahead and nobody complaining because you're not being sued. Be happy about that. This dragging could be a whole lot worse. They drag your ass in the court for that shit you was doing. So take the lumps and shut up. Well. Y'all be doing some of this most outlandish shit that can get you sued. You don't come at me. Come on now. But, I mean, hey, I'm light. I'm extremely light. Oh, because here's the one thing that y'all don't know. I guess because y'all don't, well, thanks. And shout out to my subscribers because y'all don't even know there's a whole video out already dragging this chick. I saw that before I even seen the space today. So I was like, oh boy. Yeah, it's man. Don't look at me for being a bad guy. Hell no. You got enough problems on your own from this one over here in New York. I'll turn my attention to that one.
a.m. After a 2-year pandemic hiatus, through the pandemic we were virtual. Juneteenth festivities kicked off in person again Saturday morning in Northeast Portland.
We're very excited to be back live and able to resume our parade and our event outside with the community.
Heather Coleman-Cox works with nonprofit Juneteenth Oregon, which put on this celebration.
This is our 50th anniversary, so we're very proud that we've come this far. The first Juneteenth was celebrated and recognized by Portland in 1972 by our founder and mentor, Miss Clara May Peoples.
The Clara Peoples Freedom Trail Parade went down Northeast MLK, ending at Littis Albina Park. There were dancers and musicians like this drill team from Cairo's and King School.
At these schools, the schools are predominantly black. And it's important that these kids not only know what Juneteenth is, but also know their history, know where they come from, and represent.
This is a year of firsts for Juneteenth Oregon. It's the first time that we celebrated as on a federal, state, and local level.
Juneteenth didn't become a federally recognized holiday until last year. Oregon and Washington both started making moves after the racial justice protests in 2020, with the state holiday becoming effective this year.
This is a part of American history that's been kind of hidden, and now it's out and everyone's learning about it. So we're just very beside ourselves that finally Juneteenth is receiving the recognition that it should have received.
Now, this celebration will last until 7 p.m. here at Lillis Albina Park, but if you've missed it, do not worry. They'll be back again tomorrow from 11 to 6 to celebrate more Juneteenth. Galen?
Really important history there being celebrated. Christelle, thank you so much.
All right. All right. So that is the story of our Juneteenth celebrating around here, which of course we were already celebrating for since before I was born. So now with all of these new, because we had, okay, you know how people have Chinatown in their city? We have something called Old Town, which is basically Chinatown. So they did a Old Town Juneteenth celebration put on by some white company. One of my musician friends had to go through there and said it was empty because everybody was over with the black folks. But what was really odd this weekend was all the different Juneteenth events going on here, because there's usually one centralized Juneteenth event. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. But like I said, family, remember, I've told y'all about Oregon. And so even Oregon has a reparations claim. And I'm sure a lot of people don't understand that. Let's see. Let me see what I'm going to play first. Okay, so before I play that, though, because you know how people, here on this broadcast, if you are new, one of the things you will often hear is Dr. Martin Luther King. But you ain't hearing the I Have a Dream speech. We'll hear Malcolm X. We'll hear Mr. Farrakhan. Well, this particular night is our elder, our civil rights warrior, Dr. Martin Luther King. And as he was starting to move more into a different phase that they often don't like to mention, where nonviolence was kind of wearing thin on Dr. King. Let's see what he has to say.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Yeah, they weren't too keen and fond on those type of lines and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Even this.
I'm tired of marching. Tired of marching for something that should have been mine at birth. I don't mind saying to you tonight. I don't mind saying to you tonight that I'm tired of the tension surrounding our days. I don't mind saying to you tonight that I'm tired of living every day under the threat of death. I have no martyr complex. I want to live as long as anybody in this building tonight, and sometimes I begin to doubt whether I'm going to make it through. I must confess I'm tired.
Yes, indeedy. So, another thing about, understanding the history of our movements is understanding wins and losses and understanding how to take the elements of what worked and then examine what went wrong and did not work, and then try to sharpen that up to a workable option. They want us to just simply sit back and stop and just admire the work that they did before our lifetime, not to further it and say build and expound and make it even greater than the last. No, just look at me, and I'm going to die in this position, and then honor me, and then when I'm dead, make sure that all you talk about is just staying put on where I died at. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, well, with that being said, let me show y'all one of the elements of the things that we need to address, and something that you probably were not too well aware of about my little neck of the woods here. But check this out.
The Klan in Oregon didn't just have numbers, it reached into the highest echelons of power.
We had a governor who was Klan affiliated.
It's a political machine, it's a national purity crusade. They supported immigration restriction laws. It was basically a money-making organization.
Most communities of any size had a Klan. In Oregon, the main focus of the Ku Klux Klan was fear of Catholics. There were hardly any African Americans in Oregon at the time.
But what?
Now, do you remember what I played for y'all last week when Joe Biden was talking about how the Klan was started because of Catholics? The Klan, yes and no. But if you weren't getting what you heard when he said that they were started based on Catholics, he would have been referring to this in Oregon, not Mississippi, but Oregon. You dig?
The Klan represented was a frightening threat for people of color, all colors, blacks especially.
It's something that Oregon has really tried to forget, and yet we can't begin to understand this place that we live without this information.
In 1925, tens of thousands of Ku Klux Klan members paraded through the streets of Washington, D.C. Nationwide, the Klan was at its height, with millions of members. For a time, this notorious group built a movement around normalizing hatred. According to a 1924 Klan brochure, it was an organization that stood for white supremacy, the Protestant faith, and patriotic ideals. Through the 1920s, it's believed there were between 15 to 50,000 Klan members in Oregon. Indiana and Texas claim to have 5 times that number. No one really knows. There are no complete records, and membership numbers were often exaggerated. Other than a handful of images, most of that history has been hidden away. But the Oregon Historical Society holds some of the robes and other materials used by the KKK, providing tangible evidence of the Klan's presence here.
Not discussing the KKK and their role in that period of history in Oregon would be remiss of us. And I think that it is really important because there will always be reasons to look to the past to do better. There will always be ongoing scholarship and research, and that's one of the reasons that OHS exists.
I was doing a research project. So I trot down to the Historical Society and go into the manuscripts room. There's a card that says Ku Klux Klan Proceedings of 1922, LeGrand O-R-E. Apparently, when the organization petered out in the 20s, somebody just gave all the minutes over to Colin Eberhard and say, here, put them in your office. Hadn't been open since the 20s.
Eberhard was an Oregon state legislator and member of the LeGrand KKK. When he died in the 1960s, the minutes were found inside his locked safe. They included 200 pages of Klan dealings from 1922 to 1924.
To my knowledge, nobody ever looked at them until I realized there were no other minutes of secret Ku Klux Klan meetings, which actually describe what happened at meetings.
Our last meeting shall go down in our records as being the best ever held in the state of Oregon. The honorary members in attendance included Klansman Walter M. Pierce, Governor-elect of LeGrand.
Walter Pierce was an Eastern Oregon lawyer and rancher who would spend 4 decades in politics. A supporter of prohibition and tough immigration laws, the Klan backed him for governor.
Pierce comes to the meeting in January of 1923. What is it the Klan wants from him? They want jobs in the state administration.
We tend to think of the KKK as sort of this rogue group of guys who intimidate people and all that, and that was true. But the KKK in Oregon wove its way into the political arena. We had a governor who was Klan affiliated.
Did you catch that part? The Klan learn how to see. Now, go back to what I played you about Joe Biden talking about the Klan. The Klan started over Catholics. Now is that starting to make a little sense? Now, what else did they do? They interwoven themselves into politics. Sounding familiar? Strom Thurmond, Joe Biden. You dig?
It's not just a local movement here in Oregon. It's a national movement. And it's created because of national events. As you can see, certain patterns of behavior and certain kind of dynamics that were important and powerful parts of the 1920s that are occurring in America today.
There are strong parallels, similarities between the period of the early 1920s and the period of the present day.
1919, which is a terrible year in American history, and it's the year of the pandemic and race riots and labor unrest and inflation, the Klan begins to expand. Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, California, Oregon, Colorado, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas. Those are the states that seem to have the largest clans. They were on different sections of the country.
They were seen by many white Americans as mainstream through community events like these, meant for families. There were women's groups and kids clubs. An aviation division flew over gatherings.
An aviation unit. I wonder if some of them were anywhere around Black Wall Street. I mean, who knows? Or maybe they came over here afterward. Kind of interesting, though. Same year Black Wall Street's the same year as, year after Black Wall Street. Here they go, in mighty numbers. Imagine that. Yeah, they're spreading on out west in these little enclaves. Boop, 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 boop. Now, this is not about an organization, but this is about society. And so this is telling you how anti-Black American society has been. This is why they don't want your children learning this stuff.
They owned newspapers, produced movies, and continually recruited members. Their ceremonies featured fiery crosses that advertised their presence.
The Klan had all kinds of agendas. The Klan would fasten on whatever seemed to be most resented or feared in any particular area, and then focused on those. In Oregon, the main focus of the Ku Klux Klan was fear of Catholics. There were hardly any African Americans in Oregon at the time.
The Black population in Oregon has never really been very large. In fact, that from 1844, with first the provisional government and then the territorial government, there have been Black exclusion laws on the books, which essentially said you could not be Black in Oregon, or if you were here, you couldn't stay.
You couldn't.
So that's why they weren't worried about Blacks. They were worried about Catholics because they already had kept Negroes out of the state. Dig it? So what y'all might not know about Oregon, Oregon is the 33rd state in the Union, which also is the only no Negro state legally part of the United States of America. Welcome to Oregon.
Build a movement against the Black population that was so small and non-threatening in Oregon. But Catholics could be built into a threatening presence here that you could build a movement against. That anti-Catholic strain of Oregon life is not new. It goes all the way back to the pioneer period, just as the Black exclusion policies and laws.
In 1920, Oregon had a population of almost 800,000. 97% of residents were white. Most were Protestant. For a time, the state would become a breeding ground for Klan activities.
People just do not associate Oregon with that. They like to think that those kinds of things happen in the South.
The new revived group took the name and costumes of the Ku Klux Klan of Southern Reconstruction.
The name Ku Klux is Greek for circle. It was a circular organization where you stood together and you faced out towards enemies and you protected each other.
The first Klan of the 1860s was a terrorist organization and was designed to harass Northern troops who were occupying the South after the Civil War and to intimidate African Americans into remaining on the plantations.
The original KKK wore hoods to conceal their identities as they attacked, lynched, and murdered thousands of people across the South. Faced with federal opposition, the
Now, okay, with what Biden was talking about, again, remember, he was talking about the Klan getting started. So which particular Klan was he talking about? The newer, revised Klan from my neck of the woods, or the old Southern boys who were out there murdering people during Reconstruction? They didn't get intertwined in politics. Matter of fact, we have black politicians. So where did they get involved with politics, and where were they hating Catholics? Here. This is where they were doing it. So when he was talking about the Klan wasn't started because of blacks, it was started because of Catholics. He's literally talking about Oregon.
Klan largely disappeared by the 1870s, though other racist groups remained. Then, in 1915, the film Birth of a Nation hit theaters.
It was a film in which blacks were portrayed in the most negative ways, with all the old stereotypes. So it was a tremendously powerful and racist film.
Including hooded Klansmen saving a white woman from a black attacker. When it arrived in Oregon theaters, local advocate Beatrice Kennedy fought back.
As citizens of Portland, we must protest against this play because the peace and harmony that existed between the two races may be destroyed.
Kennedy hired a lawyer to try to ban the movie. She wrote editorials against it and gave public lectures denouncing it.
Here's the problem with people like this. Notice what she was talking about, racial harmony, without really attacking the problem at hand. This is a damn shame. Black Mama said Jim Clyburn started that movie. That original woman said, was that Jim Clyburn down on the corner?
I can't imagine how difficult organizing at that time would have been for racial justice. And yet, Black folks, in the face of that, created communities and carved out spaces and organized.
That kind of significant, organized response was going to be an important stepping stone in terms of how the Black community is going to respond to those racial issues for the next 4 or 5 decades. It was the first step towards the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s.
The film Birth of a Nation, along with the lynching of a Jewish man, inspired a Klan revival. Atop Georgia's Stone Mountain, Reverend William Joseph Simmons initiated members and proclaimed himself the imperial wizard of the revived Knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
And they took a lot of the paraphernalia that was associated with the first Klan, the masks and the hoods and the robes and the secret oaths and so forth, and used that.
The Klan developed its own language for members. Recruiters were called Kleagles. They signed up new members and started chapters, known as Klaverns. Membership was $10. Robes and regalia had to be purchased through the official Klan catalog. Recruiters got a percentage of all fees, while a portion went to national leaders.
So they're setting up something while also making it a financially viable entity. Here's the thing that they're doing. They are capitalizing on the fear of genetic annihilation. Shout out Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and Mr. Dr. Neely Fuller. Because clearly you could see what this was about way back then. Oh, they were trying to get the white women. Oh, they want to rape the white women, blah, 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 blah. They want all of these flatbacks, 6 o'clock shapes. They love them. They just can't wait to get their filthy hands around this anorexic love goddess. Lord.
New members would then try and get more members, and so become Beagles themselves. And that really became a pyramid scheme for the recruiters.
With so much money at stake, a new leader seized control of the Klan. In a coup, charismatic leader Hiram Evans of Texas became Imperial Wizard and took over the finances.
It is Evans who really makes the 1920s Klan into a mass movement. He understood that the Klan would thrive if it aligned itself not just as a patriotic group, but as a purity reform group. And so they supported prohibition. They wanted to clean up the urban corruption that they attributed to Catholics and Jews, primarily immigrants. And they wanted to purify the schools by having the schools teach American patriotism.
For those who might be new to this channel or new to understanding, American patriotism means white supremacy.
They borrowed slogans like 100% Americanism and America for Americans, terms repeatedly reused by political groups right up to the present day.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying. He is not lying. Still used to this present day. So much so, though. Look at the future. There's the future. Nothing's changing. Still looks like the same to me. From back then to now. Because those little babies grow up to be these guys. Grow up watching Birth of a Nation and such. Ooh-wee. Yeah. Funny how things don't change, huh? See, this leopard ain't changed his stripes or spots at all. But see, some black folks will believe that it is something in us or wrong with us for calling this type of thing out when we see it very present today. And what's more even a problem is when black folks are working in the behest or to the benefit of this situation right here. That is absolutely detrimental to all of us.
Whole idea of 100% Americanism, fear of Catholics and other foreigners and so on, that was pervasive in this country at the time.
Knowing the history and the foundations of the Northwest and Oregon, it's not surprising that there's immense white supremacist organizing and activity here.
With the arrival of the first white settlers came a series of racist laws,
including the Black exclusion law in Oregon's Constitution when it became a state that told black folks they could not live here, they could not hold real estate, they could not make contracts.
Cities started passing laws to limit what Chinese could do. The Chinese were restricted where they could live, where they could work, where they could start businesses.
All those things that are happening in Oregon make Oregon a very fertile ground for the Klan to spring up and to eventually rise to power.
Exclusion and other racist laws were still on the books in 1921 when Klan recruiter Luther Powell arrived in Oregon.
Powell came up on the Southern Pacific Railroad from California, and his first stop was the Rogue Valley, Medford, which he helped organize the very first Klan in Oregon.
Illegal liquor sales were a problem in the region, and many residents were attracted to the Klan platform of law and order.
The couching of your objectives and your behaviors in religious language, in patriotic language, all of those things make the Klan more palatable and acceptable to a certain part of the population.
Medford's men.
Okay, so I'm gonna play a little more of this before I cut this off. But are you guys seeing how the way that the Klan was formed here is literally how the government is working today? Like what you are seeing is literally some Democrats and some Republicans. You're hearing so, but see, all they did was left the Klan meeting and then went to their two different offices. But you're still the target of objectivity. That's the point. See how savvy that works now? If I could only get more black folks to understand this. I mean, you can see, but people look at stuff like this, man, I can't stand seeing the Klan and blah, blah, blah. No. Don't look with an emotional eye. Look with a logical eye. Look with the eye of how does this affect us today? How has it always affected us? And where did it go? Because you'll have a lot of these people, like I said, with the church doctrine, come over here and talk about change and people done change this and people done change that. No. The truth of the matter is some people just don't. That's why when they have jails and prisons for people who are stuck in the cycle of recidivism. So if you're going to continue to do that, that's a thing. I understand black folks love being forgiving, but we have to understand that. We have to start holding our stuff to a better standard. Because, and realize that these individuals have made a system to absolutely operate against our interests. That's why it's so hard right now. Now, again, I have to piggyback to today. This black church and that church mentality has done us a great amount of harm. Because we will never look at something for what it is. Because here's the difference between a devout person who follows the Bible and a church Christian. A devout person that follows the Bible is going to stick with the word because they're going to use the word as the code. But a church Christian is going to be the individual that wavers with whatever the pastor says. Pastor has you do this, you're going to start doing that. Like I remember back in the I guess early 2000s when I told people TD Jakes was going to come out endorsing gay marriage. And people was at the time was like, they would never go for that. People would leave his church. Trust me, it's going to come through TD Jakes. I mean, because we've had homosexuality in the black church forever. But that line is going to come from who you see as a straight man, a married man, father. But the big, strong, burly preacher man who say, you know, it ain't really my business to be, and God doesn't care about what you do. So they start getting in that pulpit lying on the Lord. Now, if you want to lie on the Most High, at least, you know, these people should be able to recognize that this person is conning them. But because they are so enamored with the individual, they have forsaken the God that they said they worship for the God that they actually do worship. And that's how people end up getting hurt and led astray because their faith was never secure. Now, a lot of these people probably have went in and destroyed a lot of things in their lives and other people, especially spirits. Because that's one thing a lot of people tend not to be mindful of is energy and spirits. And, you know, with that being said, you said pork chop pest is always reliable. You know, a lot of people would want them to be. A lot of people would want them to be. Unfortunately, that is just not the case. Now, with that being said, I'm sure that, you know, I'm getting messages. understanding that certain people are probably feeling some kind of way about what I've addressed. But one thing that I think helps this conversation is understanding, safeguarding. We have to safeguard. So, I will put this up. If there was a person who wanted to come in and chime in about what I said, or wants to come in and clarify some things, that link is in the chat, and it can be done so now. And so I'll leave it up for right now. If someone pops in, I will bring you up, and we will discuss the situation that you want to discuss. Again, I'm not in a judgment seat, but I will acknowledge what I myself have witnessed. Outside of that, that's why I said I wasn't really worrying about. But I never would have really addressed any of this had it not came up. But just being aware of certain situations. And one of the main reasons is because I understand how fanatical people can get. So, that's one of the things that comes with the territory. You said it started with TD Fake's endorsement of Tyler Medea Perry. Back when I was in high school, I used to play for different people. So we would be at the GMWA conventions, and I'll never forget. One time I was at a board meeting in Oakland, and I think I was like 16. Yeah, 15, 16. 15, 16. Anyway, I had a gig in Oakland. And so I'm looking at the dudes walking in here. Now, mind you, this is Gospel Music Workshop of America. So this is all of this ain't just church people. These are all the record industry church folks. And so just witnessing the difference in what you would have thought you were going to by saying I'm going to a gospel music convention, because it really, really, really turned out to be more of a meet and greet of sorts. I myself and my bass player partner and my keyboard player partner being probably a few of the straight black men that were here. There were not many of us. So while we were down there, you just got a chance to see the vibe. You had dudes in matching cashmere outfits. I said, this in the church? I go, okay. Well, when this started coming across the pulpit, it's going to be all she wrote. And I'll never forget, Daryl Coley, this gospel singer, which I believe he's now passed on, he did a sermon at one of the conventions for Gospel Music Workshop of America. And he was speaking out against homosexuality. And let me tell you, a lot of them people was not happy with Daryl Coley after that. So it's so funny when we hear all these new things now, man, black community is so homophobic and all the homophobia in the black community. It's like, are you kidding? Dude. Oh, GMWA, SO. Oh, man, bruh. Organizations, man. James Cleveland, my musician elder, Patrick Parker, used to be married to Betty Wright. He told me a real interesting story about when he was young coming up. Because, a lot of us started our musician career very young. So when he was coming up in his teens, they brought in because they needed an organist, so they flew him in. And he was staying at James Cleveland's house. He said his partner told him no. Yes, Cynthia. Yeah. Yes, indeed. His partner told him, say, hey, man, James Cleveland over like that way, right? He liked them young ones like you. Like, nah, I ain't going down like that. So I guess his partner was there in the house, and Patrick put a chair behind the door. Said James Cleveland was trying to come in this room in the middle, like, what you got a chair behind the door for? So just to hear people talk about the black church is so homophobic, get out of here. The hell out of here. Man, when's the last time you watched an old episode of Bobby Jones? What's this one? Did they take Bobby Jones off the air so they could push this line that so much homophobia is in the black community, especially in the black church? Really? 20 years of Bobby Jones tells you that, huh? For those of y'all who don't know, I know y'all probably thought Bobby Jones was a little dude. Bobby Jones was a big freaking man. It's huge. He looked like, yes. Oh my God. Yeah, buddy boy, Bobby Jones is a big dude. And we opened up for New Life somewhere in the 90s. This dude. It's like you be seeing people on TV like David Allen Greer. You be thinking these dudes are little sized dudes. Man, these dudes is monsters. It's like, boy, the camera's shaving pounds and inches off of you. Like, man, I'm almost 6'2". This dude is standing well above my head, man. Like, Bobby Jones is like 6'5", 6'6". Had no idea. Yes! You doing that all night? Yeah! Yes, indeed. Oh, so like I was saying about Daryl Coley, and yes, that 1982 record, one of the most popular gospel singers of that era. And Daryl Coley came out. See, that was the whole thing that he was doing. He was like, "Oh, I'm looking for healing because I'm healed of this, blah blah blah." And so, man, this was like 1994. These people were so pissed off at Daryl Coley for that sermon. It was called, like Tainted Vessel, Perfect Praise, something like that. And they was pissed. They was pissed off. So, but what that said, that him being what he was claiming to be formerly of that community, in the church, the backlash he got for that sermon, like right now, I know an AME preacher that they probably ain't gonna let speak in America right now because of what come out of his mouth every time we get the opportunity. Shout out, Griffin. Right on, brother. One of the few that actually tell the truth. They said, we don't like that. We don't like that type of talk around here. You messing up the church money now. You gonna put you over here in Africa. That's going against the line now. I mean, this is what the Democrats want us to push. I mean, oh my lordy! And so I got the link. It's pinned in the chat. If someone needs to get something off their chest or clarify something, I can do that. I mean, but seeing how I think this would be more of a personal issue for that individual. Because again, I elected not to go on the stage because I didn't want things to go south. So when I see things like that, I'll just address it for what I can address it for. And that's just here on this platform. I'm not expecting this to be seen everywhere. I know the people who need to see it will. But outside of that, if you come here, then everybody else will see. Now, unfortunately, you got another one who will probably not let this go. She ain't got nothing to do with me, by the way. I have nothing to do with over the angry Brooklyn chick. That's somebody else's bag. But where's she from? Queens or Bronx? I don't know where the hell that woman from. She from New York. But yeah, your beef ain't really with me. It's the one that already got your picture up on her video. So if you didn't know, she got your video up. She's playing your whole video from your Instagram. So your whole face, you and your homegirl right there. She's picking you apart. And let's not forget, like I'm saying, don't stew on what I'm saying, because that Michi train is coming. So the least of your worries is me. That's all I can tell you. That one over there is coming. Save your energy for that one. Because I ain't got no problem. But trust me, I know they do. And there ain't no way that one gonna let this one pass by. So I mean, don't worry about me. You need to worry about her. But I will leave the snake up. I mean, it's on you. But I mean, if you want to send a message out that way, I guess you can do that too. But there's a lot of toes that might need a little rub. And when you're the toe master, that means you have to do the rubbing. So, Oh, Tim some more. Damn, what the hell went down? See how good it is, Tim? See, when y'all really actually fooling with me, and there's a situation like there hasn't been a situation messier than this playing out in Twitter Spaces. Really? But because it's actually over here in New Black Media and not with these off-brand thieves, y'all didn't know nothing about it. See how that worked? Over a year, y'all didn't know nothing about it. Every business as usual. But that's how you're supposed to be conducting yourself out here in these streets anyway. So, it's unfortunate. But it is what it is. And all I can say is, I feel for people who can easily be persuaded to engage in unnecessary drama that's not really theirs, and especially using somebody as a tool and a pawn for beef that you got, and then allowing this person to carry the weight for your beef when they don't have the history and understanding that you got. So all they see is what you're given. That is putting your person in a wrong position. And I'm sure that this individual felt dragged, but actually it's not about them. It's about the person who was putting them in that position. And hopefully this is a lesson learned, because it's not about you. It's about this individual and the people that been moving this way for quite some time. It's going to be unfortunate, but don't worry about me. There's going to be a ton of people bringing you up, and rightfully so. This is the business. You got your hands in it. That's how it works. Other people been sitting on the sidelines. They could do that. But if you out here, this right here, on this side, see that? If I go this way, if I go that way, it's all on me. And y'all see it. It's recorded. So when you conduct yourself out here like this, doing willy-nilly stuff, and it's all in front of this camera, best know, when you're going out on Twitter, tweeting things, when you're giving people titles on other people's stuff, to which you were told not to even really be doing that in the first place. But hey, when the boss says, screw him, we're going to do it. Hey, man, only reason I'm saying something is because of where I come in. And I'm able to see this, that, and the other. Been here for this, been here before all of you. So, I mean, I'm speaking from a knowing place. There's another individual in my chat who could also vouch for everything I'm saying. And a matter of fact, they might even have been gone from over there before all of y'all got over there. So all of this is new for y'all, not us. We're the originals. The originals before people had numbers on their Instagrams and Twitters. And it was just Facebook and YouTube. Yep, those were the days. Those were the days. So, I mean, something that I saw, now somebody else just saw. And so, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's funny, too, that just today, I'm tagged in something. You know, we're tagged in something. So I see the like. I don't know what happened there. All I can tell that sister is, please let that go. Tell your story. But as far as the reconciliation part, she ain't fooling with you like that. You got to know what type of personalities are out here, man. You understand? You got to know what type of personalities are out here. And in these empowerment streets, this is a new area. So it's easy for people to kind of creep their way in, but longevity is the point. Like, you know, I'm saying I was at this long before there was a damn internet doing all of this. Like, shoot, I've been on the FBI watch list for, now over 10 years. You go do your little search for me, they'd be like, oh, yeah, you got potential ties to certain extremist groups. Whatever the hell that means. Oh, because I'm black and I identify as black. So, yeah, if you guys, like, do that, like, how they go search people, you'll find my little felony. But the big thing that sticks out, they downplay the felony because they're really making this big thing stick out. The potential ties to extremist groups. What kind of label they put on me? So just to have somebody out here acting and fronting, I'm sorry, I have no patience for that. Because some of us, I mean, you got other people out here getting swatted. I ain't playing with that. Hell no. Can't have a phone call with me that ain't click, 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 click. Hell no. No. This is real. We have to deal with all of that. And you just still press forward with it, you know, although you know it's always there. That's the whole point, though. That's where this new energy is coming from. We still trucking along regardless of adversity. Shout out to my chief moderator, Nikki. That was actually what her title, the space was about. How you are basically going to, and I'm paraphrasing it, how you can reinvent yourself through adversity. And I think that title probably should be taken more to heart than the repercussions of how people dealt with what was done. Because again, as you know, I'm not saying anybody, hey, feel this type of way, feel that type of way. This individual obviously is in a hurt position. So shout out to her. You know, I feel for you. You got caught up in a bad situation. One thing you can do is at least hit people with an apology. But if you're holding on to hope for this individual so you won't apologize to anybody just in case she picks up the phone, then no one can ever excuse anyone. Or, I mean, make like you couldn't, I would never ever make an excuse to hold somebody back at going at somebody like that. Because if you go full steam at someone that you don't know, but refuse to go back and get that right when you recognize things have changed, we're talking about integrity there. So we just have a fanatic with bad integrity. That ain't good. That's dangerous, actually. And I mean, you know, we have fun here and we joke, but truth be told, there is some serious counseling that needs to take place there. And it needs to be offline. And it needs to be with a licensed professional that specializes in what you need. Now, next time that person or that doctor, which you already have admitted to dealing with, prescribes something for you, then you take it. And all of you who've aided her in not taking that have not done her a service. If you heard what I heard today. And so many people are trying to say it's so nice and kind. If y'all are close to her, you need to strongly encourage her to do what her doctor is advising her to do. Now, I have an aunt that went through the same type of thing, had somebody else, close family friend, go through the same type of thing. I get it. The doctors say, hey, do this, do that. Take this, take that. Man, make me feel this way, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and especially with the church crowd. Well, Jesus got me and my healing and fixing. But see, here's my problem with that. Have a wonderful night, Black Mama. My problem with that is this. I've watched all of these people with so much faith be so cowardly scared of this vid that they ran out and got that jabberoo. And CH464 is at the crib. All right, all right. Yes, indeed. So when we have these type of things, man, we got to examine it for what it is. And I'm telling y'all, it would be in her best interest for y'all to strongly encourage her to give the doctor's advice a chance. Don't hear what the doctor is saying and say, well, I'm not going to feel that. I'm going to compensate with this person. That's exactly what your doctor's trying to get you away from doing. And so you can't self-sabotage your own healing. And all of y'all that are around her enabling her. That ain't good. Being sweet and all, yes, cool. But all guide. Now, we just gonna leave her alone and liquor. No. guide. That's how she got depression in the first place. So don't just sit there and just be letting her just fester and wallow in pity. No, encourage her to go get the help that she so desperately needs, because she obviously started that way when she got involved with this individual in the first place. None of y'all caught that. You ought to be more aware of who's around you, man. And so this person get gung-ho, now they got their heart broke. And I'm sure feeling embarrassed. You know, as more mentally like with your thing together and you're not having issues, you are well aware of recognizing when a person is. So when a person's having issues, make sure that you guide them into whatever way would help them. Because sometimes the ways that they are looking at is so self-destructive that they can't see. And if anybody is telling you, or you let this person up under you thinking it is okay to have a life insurance policy on her, that a person that she don't really know is going to be the beneficiary of when you have offspring, you as friends are not doing her a righteous service by letting that go on like it's okay. Don't let a stranger say it. Y'all around her. I could see this 10 football fields away. So I know all of y'all know this. All that sitting back, not saying nothing because we want to make somebody feel okay, has been a disaster for black folk. We got to cut that out. We do not have time to play at all. And I will say this again, for that sister, please don't take what I said personal against you. I think you are in an unfortunate situation. You came to the situation in an unfortunate situation because you were already broken, as self-described, looking for something. I'm just going to advise you, like, if you really do truly have faith, tap into that. You know, who don't look for a person to be the personal human representative of your faith. Now, I got to be something in here that you tapping into, because you came in empty, and she filled whatever void was there for you. That you got off lucky because it was just her. Do you know how bad that can be in other situations? So if y'all are friends to her, take that into consideration. I'm just saying. And don't be, because we get into this thing about dragging this. First off, I'm an extreme alpha male. So there's none of that I give a shit about anyway. So, man, so what? I'm sorry. It's just the way I am. Because, again, my life don't dictate, like, hey, man, don't nobody come. I'm going to come to his defense. You know what happens when people start doing stuff against me? Nothing, unless I do it. It'll be very rare that someone is speaking up on my behalf. Very rare. And even more so, I can count all the apologies I've gotten on one hand, well, two hands now. One of those apologies actually being my moderator. That's how little it happens to me. Both hands. So yeah, I know there's something that goes on in our community that's a real great sickness. There's two things. Never been apologized to, and at the same time, as many people that could come back to me and tell me I was wrong. Same amount of fingers going in the opposite direction. Must be the color. So with that being said, we will pick this back up on Friday. Like I said, this is going to be a two-parter. Maybe even more, because I want to make sure we drive this point home, because we got these old heads out here talking about HR 40, HR 40, HR 40, HR 40. It's reparations. HR 40 is the study of reparations. We don't have to champion the name of the number of the bill. Let's just make sure we keep it simple. Reparations. Reparations. Not HR 4. What's that? HR 4. Reparations. Oh, I know what that is. Reparations. Because you see how they're trying to mix them conversations up. There's a reason why they're getting away from using the word reparations to talk about the bill 1840. There's a reason they're doing it. And so again, to that system, I know what you want to do, and it might be some time before people can really trust you. So I know you want to post people's stuff up. Make sure you connect with them, check with them before you do, because as far as New Black Media goes, that would be D. Tubman who reposts videos of New Black Media. So if you are looking to be a hub over here, because see, that thing over there is that, but New Black Media is over here. D. Tubman, Chief Executive Operations Manager. So there's one central hub, and that is it. Not a new one, not annexed. D. Tubman. Now, if we can figure that one out, all right. Now, if I see all of this, I'm going to be starting competing with things over here. I will then turn my face towards you. Now, as for the other lady, I think I've already addressed my position. You don't know who I am, so it's irrelevant to even have to worry about me now, ain't it? So good luck to you and whatever is happening on your adventures. Nice pictures, by the way. I saw the new pictures. We're going with the whole glamour look. We're changing it up all the way. Ooh-wee. Usually when you see that, it's like, I'm wondering, am I going to start hearing the alter ego soon? That y'all was probably in them damn things like, damn, this is getting weird. I thought she was a spiritual guru. This just feels weird. It's a shift. Oh, I bet it is. Remember, energy doesn't die, energy shifts. So if you're in close proximity with that, you might get a little residual. So, with that being said, family, stick with the real, which is the truth bringers and the truth sayers. Shout out to the truth speakers of New Black Media. Shout out to the pretenders of New Black Media, who subsequently will end up with all of their followers either going back into the church or coming over here. So, mark those words. Again. So, yeah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Babylon has fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall. And let us rise. Can you dig it? Oh, and before we go, I know some of y'all just might not understand how we get down over here on the more militant tip, but it's Wednesday, and you almost let me get out of here before playing Wednesday's song. So before we go, here's one for Toronto Burke.
Oh yeah! That's what you say when you see your devil down. Oh yeah! That's what you say when you take the devil's crown. Oh yeah! Stay alive, all things will change around. Oh yeah! What? Oh yeah! So here I go, kicking science in 95, I'll be illin'. Parental discretion is advised still. Don't call me nigga, this MC goes his. Call me God, cause that's what the black man is. Roaming through the forest as the hardest lyrical artist. Black woman, you are not a bitch, you're a goddess. Let it be known, you can lean on KRS-One like a wall, cause I'm hard. I represent God. Whack MCs have one style, gun buck. But when you say, let's buck for revolution, hey, shut the fuck up, can't get with it. Down to start a riot in a minute. You hear so many, bow, bow, bow. You think I'm rich, while other MCs are talking about up with hope, down with dope. I'll have a devil in my infrared scope. Boy, that's for calling my father a boy. Yeah, ha, ha, ha. That's for putting scars on my mother's back. Bow, that's for calling my sister a hoe. And for you, fuck, 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 cause I don't give a motherfuck. Remember the whip, remember the chant, remember the rope, and you black people still thinking about voting? Every president we ever had lied. You know I'm kinda glad Nixon died. Oh yeah, that's what you say when you see a devil dead. Oh yeah, that's what you say when you take the devil's crown. Oh yeah, stay alive, all things will change around. Oh yeah, what? Oh yeah. This is not the first time I came to the planet, but every time I come, only a few could understand it. I came as ISIS, my words they tried to ban it. I came as Moses, they couldn't follow my commandments. I came as Solomon, to a people that was lost. I came as Jesus, but they nailed me to a cross. I came as Harriet Tubman, up with the truth to sojourner. Other times, I had to come as Nat Turner. They tried to burn me, lynch me, and starve me, so I had to come back as Marcus Garvey. Bob Marley, they tried to harm me. I used to be Malcolm X. Now I'm on the planet as the one called KRS. Kicking the metaphysical, spiritual, trying to like get with you, showing you were invincible. The Black Panther is the black answer for real. In my spiritual form, I turn into Bobby Seale. On the wheels of steel, my spirit flies away and enters into Kwame Ture. Oh, yeah. That's what you say when you see a devil dead. Oh, yeah. That's what you say when you take the devil's crown. Oh, yeah. Stay alive, all things will change around. Oh, yeah. What? Oh, yeah. In the streets there is no EQ, no dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo, so I grab the air and speak through the code. The devil cannot see through as I unload into another cerebellum. Then I can tell him, because my vibes go through denim and leather, whatever. However, I'm still rocking. We used to pick cotton, now we pick up cotton when we shopping. Have you forgotten why we building in a cipher? You hear me, kid? Government is building in a pyramid. The son of God is brighter than the son of man. The spirit is. Check your dollar bill, G. There it is. We got no time for fancy mathematics. Your mental frequency frequently picking up static, making you a naked body addict. And it's democratic. They press auto, and you kill it with an automatic. Oh, yeah. That's what you say when you see a devil dead. Oh, yeah. That's what you say when you take the devil's crown. Oh, yeah. Stay alive, all things will change around. Oh, yeah. What? Oh, yeah.
Dr. Biden, how was your anniversary?
Added Joe Biden bonus. Oh, Lord. Woo. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, you know how we have fun around here. And always, for all of you people, fakes, pretenders, and wannabes, new black media ain't nothing to F with. Yeah, so yeah, you know, former like Voltron, and you know, hey man, I don't know how much good praying to white Jesus gonna do you, because you're gonna end up like this.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
I was like, why is that still looping? Oh man, oh man, oh man. So yeah, you said Joe Biden looked extra crippled, man. Just falling over us. Happy Father's Day. He's too damn funny. Oh man. And just you know, as a reminder of us minds in the new black media, because sometimes people will try us, you know.
Don't try to knock me player, cause I'll leave your head stale. Light you up real good, you will never get well.
So, with that being said, we are going to get out of here for this evening, but we will be back, of course, on Friday for the weekly wrap up. And if there's anything in between, then you should be subscribed and hit the word all, so then you'll be notified anytime a video is uploaded or this channel goes live. So, with that being said, y'all can follow me at Instagram and Twitter at beatzillapdx, Facebook beatzillapdx, Patreon beatzillapdx official, and on Melanated People at Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket by way of donations, you could definitely feel free to leave a love offering. Like Brother Phil says, at CashApp $beatzillapdx. That is CashApp $beatzillapdx. And then, of course, we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK. So with that being said, family, you know how we do around here. And anybody that knows me knows what we going to throw every single day of the week, which is the Stone of Truth. So y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe, stay vigilant, stay alive. Shalom, y'all.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.